The young members of a British acid folk band are compelled by their manager to record their unique music. They hole up at Wylding Hall, an ancient country house with dark secrets. There they create the album that will make their reputation, but at a terrifying cost. Julian Blake, the group's lead singer, disappears within the mansion and is never seen or heard from again. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hambar. Today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Elizabeth Hand's Wylding Hall. Wylding Hall is a 2015 novella by Elizabeth Hand, and as I mentioned, it is about a folk band, or an acid folk band specifically, going to a remote mansion in the summer in Hampshire, England, after one of the band members has committed suicide, a young girl, and that's not really talked about too much, but basically their manager, or their producer, or however that works, wanted them to go and not have contact with people, so he didn't want anyone to know that they were there, so they could record music and, do it in isolation, essentially. Now, this is a ghost story, and it is also a recounting told decades after the story takes place. So the story takes place in the 70s, and the book came out in 2015, so it's about that time, right? Contemporary, where the members of the band and a few others, like an amateur photographer and a reporter and like this empath or psychic, whatever, are recounting some of the events of that summer. Now, with the notable exception of Julian Blake, who people talk about, but obviously that, something happens in the story that there's a reason why he's not there. So this story did actually creep me out a little bit. I don't read a lot of stories like this, and I guess, I don't know, a ghost story feels like a better label for it than horror story, though it is very English folk or pagan or tradition filled. It's often chilling at times. It's got a great otherworldliness feel, kind of like in Mythica Wood, if you've read that novel. I reviewed that last year. Now, this also deals a lot with Rins, and say the Rin Day or whatever, the Boxing Day, St. Stephen's Day, whatever. There's not much to say without spoiling it on that. So, but I will say this is an absolutely fantastic piece of storytelling. I enjoyed listening to every second of this and kind of just wanted to go back and re-listen to it right afterwards. I actually highly recommend the audio on this one, since each character has a different voice actor, so it really feels like the characters are being interviewed. So it's very authentic feeling, as well to the time. Definitely 70s fiction is what it feels like. It's like almost historical fiction in that aspect. And I imagine it also gets the English folk music scene down very well. I actually have gone and listened to one of the pieces that is sung in this, The Unquiet Dead. I'm blanking on who sings it. Maybe it's Griffin? Maybe that's the name of the album. I don't know. Blue Tax actually suggested this book to me, and he's the one who linked the music to me afterwards, so I definitely enjoyed some acid folk after listening to this. It's interesting, though, because since we know Julian isn't there, we kind of know what's going to happen, but it's definitely a mystery, as we don't really know what happens. I mean, we kind of know what the result is of this mysterious happening, but we don't really know that's happening, except for that he's disappeared, and we do know he's messed with some magic, essentially, like, occult magic that maybe he shouldn't have played with. So you can speculate to a certain point, but we do get many POVs, and some contradict each other slightly, and none are omniscient characters, none are omniscient narrators, and so therefore they're unreliable. So we have about 8 unreliable narrators, which is definitely very interesting. So it's pretty interesting, though, also, since it all seems possible in a sense, but especially since they're on so many drugs and drunk and, just so much otherworldliness is going on. It's very romantic, I feel like, in that sense. It's just a fantastic piece of storytelling. Overall, I would just say go and listen to this. Absolutely. It's a really phenomenal, not very long. If you have Audible membership, it is actually free, so you don't even have to spend any credits or any money on this. So it's just something I feel like you should go and listen, and I'd like to be able to talk to more people about it. And it is, again, something I'd really like to experience again. I went and I bought a physical copy after listening to it because I enjoyed it that much. So let me know if you've listened to this or read this, or if ghost stories are really your thing. I feel like it really gets this feel down so well with this English otherworldliness, this 1970s like hippie, like lots of drugs, like folk music, just so much it gets right, and I really enjoyed it. But it's been Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.